Hello world, welcome to the second part of this week's Geek Movie News. If you didn't watch the first part, there's a link just up here. You can click out and watch what you've missed. But let's get cracking on the news with some Marvel Universe movie news. Starting off this week with some news about X-Men Days of Future Past. Firstly, Peter Dinklage has been cast as the main villain in the piece. Now, no news yet on who the villain will be. Some people have said he may play Puck. For those of you who don't know, Puck is a character from the Canadian mutant team Alpha Flight, who is a hero, so it doesn't really make sense other than the fact he's a dwarf in the comic book. That is the only thing that I can see which makes sense of having Dinklage. For me, Dinklage is a great actor. I would have preferred if they held back on casting him in one of these movies until we got a Captain America movie with MODOK, because basically I think he would be brilliant as the character. But we're going to see him in X-Men. I'm sure he'll be fantastic. He usually is. And let's just hope that they do him justice. Hugh Jackman has also come out and said basically the chance to play Wolverine in this movie was too good to turn down. Just as he was finishing off filming The Wolverine and thinking, you know, I'm going to get some time off, I don't have to hit the gym as hard, he gets told about this movie and loves the idea. He mentioned he hasn't seen a finished script yet, but he has read an 8-page treatment of the storyline, and it is fantastic. While true to the storyline from the comic books, has some differences, but is very, very good at actually filling the gap between First Class and the original X-Men movies. Fantastic, that's what we're all hoping. And the fact that it's going to have all of the original cast from First Class and some of the original cast from the X-Men movies in it as well makes it even better. Fantastic bridging movie between the actual films in the franchise. Speaking of the original movies, Bryan Singer has said that he wants to fix the original franchise with this movie because he's very disappointed in both X-Men The Last Stand, which obviously he didn't direct. He was in a production role because he went off to direct the Superman Returns movie for DC and Warner Brothers, and Wolverine Origins, because, hell, even I want to forget that that exists. I mean, you basically ruined Gambit, and the storyline was fairly terrible. So Singer is hoping to fix all the problems that come up from those two movies in this movie, revitalising the X-Men franchise further, which, you know, it's already revitalised from how good First Class was. I am totally on board with this movie. I want this movie to be amazing, and I'm sure everyone else does. Singer, I think you're the man to do it. Prove me right. Some Captain America the Winter Soldier news this week, and Hayley Atwell will in fact be returning to the franchise in some flashback scenes. It was confirmed in Collider by Stanley Tucci, who played Albert Eckstein, the doctor that actually came up with the super soldier serum. He was talking about the fact he was disappointed he won't be returning to the franchise in any flashback scenes, but he was excited to see Peggy Carter return, the character Hayley Atwell played in the first movie. This is fantastic. This is what I predicted a couple of weeks back when she said she wouldn't appear in the movie at all, and I'm so glad that she is going to be in this, even though it's only as a flashback to something that's happened previously during World War II. She's a brilliant character, she's a fantastic actress, and very, very important to the mythos of Captain America. Good to see. Well done, Marvel. Final piece of Marvel news this week, and it seems like Mark Miller, Fox's creative consultant for the Marvel Universe movies under the stable, has brought in Matthew Vaughn to produce the Fantastic Four reboot. Now, we all know Vaughn had success with X-Men First Class, and he will be working in some capacity as a producer on X-Men Days of Future Past. This is good news, bringing someone who has already had success with the Marvel Universe. The fact that Mark Miller, a comic book writer who has worked on a lot of these Marvel characters, is overseeing all of these movies as well is fantastic. It can only breed success. According to Variety, comic book Beast of Burden is going to have an animated movie made about it. Shane Acker is going to be directing the movie. Now, he famously directed 2009's 9, which, if you haven't seen it, is a brilliant animated movie. But he's also worked on special effects work for films like The Lord of the Rings. So he comes with a good pedigree. Those of you who don't know, the comic book is about a group of animals, mainly dogs, that actually investigate paranormal and supernatural activity. Sounds like this is brilliant. It's perfect fodder for an animated movie. It could be a huge success. Some casting news for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes this week, and some human members of the cast have been announced. Firstly, Jamie Clark will play the main human lead in the movie, and also Cody Smith McPhee will be appearing. Nothing has been announced about the characters, and there is no news on whether the original actors, people like James Franco, will be returning for this sequel. They are very, very hush-hush about what's going to happen and about what characters will be doing, which is understandable. This film is still in development, and obviously you don't want to let too much slip before it hits the actual big screen. Oh, and they've confirmed that it's going to hit the big screen on May the 23rd, 2014. So I suppose you won't have that long to wait. Brett Ratner's Hercules movie has a release window of August 2014, and they're starting to move ahead with some casting. They've already cast Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Hercules, and they've now cast Axel Hennie as Hercules' ally Titus. Now this movie, as I mentioned a long time ago, is based on a 2008 Radical Publishing comic book, not just the normal mythos that you may expect, and follows Hercules and 6 battle-weary heroes going off to train the Tharsian army. Sounds like an interesting prospect. Hopefully they can make this a good one. They can get some good cast members involved, and well, we'll see next year. Over a year ago, Stan Lee announced that Dan Gilroy, the screenwriter of Real Steel, will be working on a new movie called The Annihilator. Now, the film, based on a character that Lee came up with, who, strangely enough, is also called The Annihilator, has picked up a new producer in the guise of Barry Josephson. The film will be partly funded by the Chinese National Film Group and will cost between $100 and $150 million to make, with scenes being filmed in English and Mandarin. Hopefully, with Stan Lee behind it, this can be a really interesting martial arts superhero movie, something a little bit different for both genres, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. Now, the first movie hasn't even hit cinemas yet, but already Travis Beacham and Guillermo del Toro are working on developing Pacific Rim 2. Now, they've not come out and said that it's going to be out anytime soon, but that they want to further develop the world and the mythology around Pacific Rim, and that this could spin off into a number of sequels. Interesting. I mean, I think that the trailer for Pacific Rim looks fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing it, although I have questioned the fact that it somehow looks fairly cliched. Plot-wise, it'll probably be fantastic because Del Toro's working on it, goddammit, and the man is a genius. So, if it is, we need to get a second one in production as soon as possible, maybe a third, keep them rolling out, because, you know, Hollywood, sequels make money, and you love money, right? Finally this week, some shocking news to do with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, yes, the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie is back on. No, we don't know what's going on with the script yet, but we have got some casting news, as the character April O'Neil is going to be played by Megan Fox. What? Seriously? Megan friggin' Fox? What is that about? I mean, yeah, okay, she's a brilliant bit of eye candy, but she's not exactly a fantastic actress, and she's going to detract from this movie. She is going to be in the film, and everyone is going to be talking about Megan Fox, not the Ninja Turtles. They're meant to be the stars, guys, not Megan Fox. I don't know how many times I can say it. I don't know how angry I can be at it, because, you know, I didn't want to give this movie a chance in the first place. I was one of the first people to come out and say, shoot this movie down, it looks awful, and then it gets shot down. There's talks of reworking it to be slightly more like the comic book and cartoon stories, and then you do this. Thanks, Michael Bay. I know you're not directing this, but even you as a producer is having like the curse of the Black Death on this movie for its fans like myself. Step away, get away from this film, get Megan Fox away from this film. Even though I'm still going to go and see it when it comes out, I'm a little bit upset. Okay guys, as always, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click the like button there, let me know that you liked it. Down in the description box below is a link to my Facebook, my Twitter and my Tumblr. And if you've missed it, this week's Geek TV news is on my Tumblr. So go and have a look what's going on in the world of Geek TV. If you want to leave a comment, there's also those comment boxes down there. Let me know what you think and maybe any stories that I might have missed. If you missed last show, then there's a link just there. If you missed the first part of this week's show, there's a link there. Also, pop out, watch those, get up to date with what's going on in the world of geek movies with your old pal Cozzy. And until next time, folks, au revoir.